I cannot stress how important it is that you, as the entrepreneur, are creating unique content that AI cannot recreate. And yes, AI is amazing, such a great tool in so many aspects of our business. But if you run, let's take a landscaping business, for example, you are going to experience real world problems with your customers that AI does not experience. So you need to share those experiences, ideally in the form of long form YouTube videos that you then embed on your web pages. And so that way, not just AI platforms, but your customers can actually watch it and understand, yes, I'm a real person. I run a real business. Here's some of my reviews from my Google business profile. And here's a unique situation where, I found this overgrown lawn and this is how I approached it based on the customer's budget and their needs.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. We'd also like to thank Data Driven Decisions, founded by Katy Forster, for sponsoring today's show. Data Driven Decisions specializes in accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, and advisory services tailored specifically for small businesses and entrepreneurs who want financial clarity and peace of mind. From KPI reporting to fractional CFO support and QuickBooks training, Katy's team brings big firm expertise with a personal touch. Visit them at datadriven.coach to see how smart financial support can make all the difference in your business growth. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Big Hitters Podcast. I'm joined by Mark Taylor, who is the founder and CEO of the Auto Growth Agency. And I'm really excited to dive into it with him here today. Mark, tell us a little bit about your business and tell us, kind of the story of how you got it started.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. I'm, as you said, the founder and CEO of the Auto Growth Agency. It's a marketing agency, and I specialize in search engine optimization and AI optimization. So that's getting our clients leads and customers from ChatGPT, from Google, from Perplexity, all these different AI platforms and search engines that are out there. And I started my business 7 years ago now. But before that, I was born to be an entrepreneur. When I was growing up, remember my mother would always, instead of sending me out to go get a job, she was always like, well, why don't you just do that for yourself? So I became a swim instructor. And instead of going to the local pool and teaching swimming lessons there, she's like, well, why don't you start up your own private swim instructing business? So I started doing that. And it was just business idea after business idea that I was conditioned when I was growing up. And so when I eventually went into the 9-to-5 working world, I was pretty unsatisfied, to say the least, going through the tech industry and eventually ending up at one of the world's biggest affiliate marketing agencies. And that's really where I learned and mastered high intent marketing, or search engine optimization. And that's really where I started my agency. I was doing this for, the world's biggest affiliate marketing agency. And I said, I would love to do this and help out small businesses that are, struggling to find their hit and, get to that 7-figure a year mark where, 95% of businesses do not end up making 7 figures a year. That's over $1 million. And I think that's a crime, because there's so many amazing small businesses out there that just need to get their product or their service to the world. And so I went out and started my own agency. And I pretty quickly, COVID was a really good help and boost for us, because a lot of big brands went to search engine optimization as a marketing service. So pretty quickly, I was able to scale and grow my agency up to, I think our top performing months were $70K, $80K in a month. And then I pretty quickly got burned out. And I remember driving. It was my first vacation I ever took about 2 years into my business. And I was driving. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and I was finally taking my very first vacation. And I remember I was supposed to spend a week at my family cottage and just like relax. But about 20 minutes on this drive, I started just like fading. And I felt like I was like completely wasted and like drunk. It was the weirdest feeling ever. And so I had to pull over because I was about to crash. And I was like, I turned to my wife and I'm like, Hillary, you have to drive. Like, I don't know what's going on with my body. And my body just completely shut down. And that's because I was working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was leaving my health and my relationships to the side in all efforts to like grow and make more money and do more scale. And it had burned me out completely. And this is how it was manifesting. So I spent my entire first vacation as an entrepreneur just laying in bed, completely sick to my stomach. And I was like, I can't function like this anymore. And then that's really what kind of like led me to really change my business around, look at ways to scale effectively and really build what I want to call a lifestyle business. I think, there's so much hype online about building a business and grinding it out more. Gary Vaynerchuk will go tell you, and Alex Hormozi will go tell you to work like 16-hour days and work 7 days a week and don't take vacations and do it until you like finally hit this big arbitrary goal. And I found myself listening to a podcast that really inspired me to do some own brainstorming work, which was like saying, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do on a day-to-day basis? Where would you live? What would you go to do? And doing that work was really some of the most groundbreaking things I've ever done as an entrepreneur, because it allowed me to take a serious look at my business and say, I don't want to grow just to grow. I want to grow because essentially what I discovered was I wanted freedom. Yes, financial freedom, but there's other types of freedom too. There's freedom of time, which is like, can you control your own schedule, right? If you are really big into skiing like I am and surfing, then can you take off a random Wednesday because there's a big dump of snow and you want to go ski powder? And I wanted a lifestyle that allowed me to do that. I didn't want to be strapped into my desk, into my office for 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day. I have 2 young boys. I want to be there as a present parent, right? I want them to know who I am. I don't want to just show up for dinner time sometimes. I want to be there for my boys and really be a present father to them and a role model to them. And then there's also location freedom too. So I built my business around being able to work wherever I am in the world, and I can, and it's fantastic. We travel, we spend so many months every single year traveling. And I honestly can't believe like what's possible without having to have this like $1 billion brand of a business. I don't have to make $2 million a month in order to spend every winter in Mexico, which we nearly almost do, but we love going south for the winter time and just spending time down in the tropics. So really that's like been my business journey and inspired me to not just build it big for the sake of making more money, but really to be intentional about why you're building your business. And for me, it's how we do our marketing as well, and trying to make that as efficient as possible. Instead of just like hiring more body counts and like trying to brute force your way through this business growth.
I love that. You said a lot of things that I want to double click on, but the big thing I want to double click on is put us on some game with some AI search. So I see that I am looking for businesses on ChatGPT. Like I needed a plumber, right? So teach us up a bit on what is the skinny on like AI search.
AI search is fantastic. It is the highest quality leads you will ever receive in your business. It is mind blowing. I was just on a call the other week with someone who booked a consult call with me, and they were so bought in. They knew everything about me. They knew everything about my history, and they were just ready to buy. And it was like the weirdest sales conversation I've ever had, because they were just like, yeah, just send me the link. I'm ready. Like, just buy. And it was fantastic. And we get this for our clients as well. And so the secret is really understanding, why would ChatGPT, Google, Gemini, Perplexity, why would these AI platforms want to showcase your business?
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this for a fact. AI and ChatGPT and Google, they do not want to showcase a business whose only content has been content written by AI. Right?
Right.
How would they know that that's a legitimate business? That could just be some random 12-year-old kid who like created a fake roofing company and just built it with AI. So how do these platforms know that you're a real business, know that you service customers, know where you service your customers? Are you across the entire US? Are you just in one city, your local business providing like roofing solutions or landscaping? And so you have to provide these signals to AI. Some of the best ways to do this are by having a Google business profile and a Bing business profile. And that is what you see on Google Maps, where you actually can collect reviews. If you go to Google Maps and search for like a lawyer or a roofer, you're going to find all those local businesses in the map pack. ChatGPT takes those pretty much the same results that Google has in their local Google Maps and displays it in ChatGPT. And so the history behind this AI versus like Google and search is pretty interesting. Where before ChatGPT was released, Google was like the behemoth, right? And then after ChatGPT was released, we saw Google release their AI search, and Gemini and all these other platforms are trying to catch up to ChatGPT. And now what we've been seeing with our clients over the past year and a half, 2 years, is that ChatGPT is actually taking a page out of Google's playbook. They actually use Google bots to crawl people's websites and learn and understand if they're a real business, where they operate, what they service, what their price point is, who has reviewed their business, right? Are they real people? Are they fake reviews? So really, AI is now taking a page out of Google's playbook. Why? Because just recently was announced, and I've been talking about this on my YouTube channel at Money with Mark for about a year and a half now. But AI has just officially announced that they are launching an ad platform in 2026. And who are they going to sell ads to? They sell ads to the businesses that want customers and leads from it. So ChatGPT over the past year and a half, 2 years, has really been investing heavily in trying to get people like local businesses and service-based businesses and e-com businesses free leads from ChatGPT in order for them to then release the ad platform. So that's what's happening right now in the industry. I cannot stress how important it is that you, as the entrepreneur, are creating unique content that AI cannot recreate. And yes, AI is amazing, such a great tool in so many aspects of our business. But if you run, let's take a landscaping business, for example, you are going to experience real world problems with your customers that AI does not experience. So you need to share those experiences, ideally in the form of long form YouTube videos that you then embed on your web pages. And so that way, not just AI platforms, but your customers can actually watch it and understand, yes, I'm a real person. I run a real business. Here's some of my reviews from my Google business profile. And here's a unique situation where, I found this overgrown lawn and this is how I approached it based on the customer's budget and their needs. So creating that unique content and then gathering reviews. Reviews is huge. Most businesses are like, they get a perfect 5-star review profile and they're like, cool, I'm done with my reviews. That's not what you want. You want reviews every single month, ideally every single week. And you do not want a perfect review star rating either. You will notice, and we see this with our clients very clearly, if you have a perfect 5-star reviews, you only get people to review that are your best customers. Google will suppress you. ChatGPT doesn't believe you. They do not believe that there is a business out there that can get a perfect 5-star review from every single customer. And the reality is, if you're building a big business that's like big enough, which like pretty much every business is, you're going to have people that just like don't fit in with your product or your service. And they should absolutely leave you like a critical review. And then you, the business owner, just respond to it in like a reasonable way, right? Like don't be don't be a jerk when you respond to these like negative reviews, and don't try to get them removed, because it shows that you're a real business. It shows that you're not just
Mm-hmm.
this, AI generated collected reviews that are all fake. So you got to be real in a world where AI is creating so much noise. So you
Mm.
do those things, and then I'll give everyone two more real tactical advice. If you're
Yeah.
e-commerce, you can just Google right now Chat GPT product submission. And then you can go, there's an application form right now, and you can actually submit your product feed like through Shopify or through it's similar to Google Merchant Center, and you can submit your ecom products to ChatGPT, and they will display them as little beautiful cards when people are searching for it. So that's a way you can do that right off the bat. And then for local service-based businesses, one of the best things that you can do is add to your website what's called schema. Schema, you can go to schema.org, which might be it's a little technical, a little complex for most business owners, but give it to your website developer, your marketing agency. And schema is simply data that bots and AI platforms can read that is not shown on your website. And there's different
Mm.
types of schema. So there's like local business schema, which will tell ChatGPT and Google, it says, hey, my business is located in Chicago. I service the greater Chicago area, and I provide roofing services, and it's like a medium price point, and I have 45 reviews and an average of 4.7 star rating. So you can
Mm.
submit this information to Google and AI through the use of schema on your website. And so
Mm.
that's really, you follow like those steps there, you are going to get better results and more traffic from ChatGPT and Google. And as a matter of fact,
Oh.
I have, if you guys want to, if people want like my full checklist here, everything I've talked about plus more, it really comes down to like what service pages you have on your website. So I have, if you DM me on Instagram at Money with Mark, DM me the words AI checklist, and I'll just send you my free checklist that we go through with all of our clients. So you can just follow it step by step so that we can get more visibility for free from ChatGPT from Google.
I love that. Those are really good tangible items. And it's funny, man. I've had a lot of conversations recently with business owners spending 3, 4, 5, 6 grand a month on ads with Facebook and Meta. And, I'm just thinking about myself. I mean, I'm almost 40 and I haven't Googled a single business, recently. It's been all with chat. So I just think there's a huge opportunity there for anybody listening as well, of helping businesses get featured. And so I love this is amazing insight. Mark, what do you feel like is going well with your business right now, and what's not going so well?
Yeah. So what's going well for me right now is using AI to automate and replace software subscriptions that we have internally. We took a look with my CFO, and we found that we were spending nearly $5,000 a month on software and on subscriptions. And so I looked at this and like, that's not like a ton necessarily, but it is a lot where you're like, I would love to cut out, 3K a month in subscriptions. And so one of the things that's working the best for me right now is using AI to actually build our own internal software that we can then use within my own team. So I'll give you an example. Part of search engine and AI optimization for a local business is geotagging images. So if I'm a landscaper and I operate in Chicago, any of the images I upload to my website should have a geotag on it, which is literally just the latitude and longitude in the metadata of the image. And so I was paying like I think $3,000 or $5,000 a year for this software that we were using to then geotag all of our images when we were uploading them to our clients' sites. And so for the last year, I had been like trying to build out with ChatGPT like our own internal web app to do this for us. And it just wasn't working. I was vibe coding it, and I would like go to ChatGPT. I'd say like, cool, build me this thing. We would mock it up in Canva. I would then like try to actually upload an image to it, geotag it, download it, and it wouldn't work. And then I go back to
Mm.
ChatGPT and I'm like, it's not working. I'm like, it's doing the whole thing, but it's just not adding the data to it. I'm like, what's going on? And so I got so frustrated with that vibe coding. And then ChatGPT 5 came out and it got a lot better. And then, but I still, with ChatGPT 5, I still couldn't get it outside of ChatGPT, which I really needed outside of. I needed my entire team and contractors to be able to access it. And then what I did was just about 2-3 months ago, Lovable just released Lovable, which is an AI web app building platform, just released like the full back end IT infrastructure with like one click, which is huge. And so Lovable was able to build the thing that I have with ChatGPT and then deploy it to my actual website. So that way I can just send the link to every single person. I can have it in an Asana task template. So that way, whenever we get a technical task, it's assigned to someone, they have the link to actually go and use it. And I was able to cut out my $5,000 subscription. And so I officially cut it out. And then once I did that, I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to use AI to replace as many of my softwares as possible. And it's a slow progress, but we are making huge progress with it. And I'm just super excited to actually be deploying our own software now using AI to make us more efficient as a team, but then to also reduce our costs at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's just mind blowing right now what is happening with AI. And if you're like a business owner who, wants to scale and wants to be more profitable, I think you need to be diving into AI as much as you possibly can to understand where your time is going, like do a time audit, which I love doing, and then say, oh, I spend so much time doing this. I wonder if I can automate that, or I wonder if I could build an AI agent to just automate that task for me. And you would be shocked at doing a little bit of research. You might have to put in 10, 40 hours of work to build the thing. But then once you do, you might have just bought back like 5 hours a week in perpetuity, potentially for like all of your team as well. So the results on it are just mind blowing. So that's what's working really, really well for my business. What's working, I would say, not so well is, and maybe this is a little bit selling myself short, but I started a school community called the Auto Growth Academy because I had a lot of entrepreneurs that I would talk with who are not ready to spend thousands of dollars a month on an agency. And so I was like frustrated because I really wanted to help them grow, because we've turned so many entrepreneurs from stuck at 100K a year, 200K a year, and brought them to 2 million a year, 3 million a year in sales. And they love us for that. But there were so many entrepreneurs that were like, I can't afford you. And so I'm like, cool, I need a group program where I can put in our training, put in our step-by-step videos to not just build the marketing systems, but also to work on automating certain parts of businesses as well and teaching people those automation and really profitability automations that we use with AI. And so I built up that school community. I would say it's moderately successful right now. We have, I think, 91 members in it, but I would like to see that grow. And so it's only been launched like for a few months now. And so maybe I'm selling myself a little bit short, but that's something that I would like to see a bigger impact on, because I really think there's so many young entrepreneurs out there. And by young, I don't mean age, I mean fresh into entrepreneurship, that we almost always find out that the first hurdle you discover with growing your business is, I need to figure out my marketing system. I need to figure out that, $10 into Facebook ads equals $20 on my back end. Or I need to figure out that posting one YouTube video a week and turning it into a search optimized article on my site results in, 500 people to my landing page every month. So once people can figure out, yes, I do this and I get more customers, then you can start to be like, cool, how can I do more of that input that gives me more of the output, which is more customers? So really getting people that education and weekly coaching with me to get them to that stage where they could eventually hire, an actual agency to work with and to really supercharge their ads or their organic content, and everything they're doing in their own business.
Mark, who's your ideal client? Who do you, I know you probably serve a bunch of different, but who's your, like, this is my wheelhouse. I love working with these types of business owners.
Yeah, so I have two ideal clients for the Auto Growth Academy. I want to talk to entrepreneurs who are like sub 500K in annual sales and don't have their marketing system figured out. That's who I want inside the Auto Growth Academy. I want, if you're stuck at like 10K a month, 20K a month, or not even there yet, the Auto Growth Academy is who it's for. It's for ideally service-based businesses and local-based businesses. With our agency, I'm looking for the same thing. I'm looking for service-based businesses and local businesses that are beyond that 100K, 300K a year, and who are really like, I've got my thing, I got a great product, I just want to sell more of it. And then that's really when we can take them on and work well with them. So service-based businesses, that's things like some coaches. We say no to a lot of coaches depending on what they are specifically doing. But if the coach has a specific niche, then it's usually a good fit. Or local service-based businesses too. So whether you are running an agency or whether you're running a landscaping company, we can really help supercharge all of those businesses as well.
I love that. Let's talk. What's something we haven't talked to? You're a pretty excitable guy. What's something we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
You know, what really gets me fired up is leads from AI. And I know we already talked about it, but I cannot stress to you, if you have not received a sales call or like a customer purchasing from AI yet, you will be blown away when you get your first consult call or sales call that comes from ChatGPT. It is so qualified because the difference experience between Google and ChatGPT is just massive. People are spending so much more time inside ChatGPT, prompting it, going back and forth with it. And so people will actually learn so much about your business through ChatGPT, and more importantly, so much about their own problems that they're trying to solve before they actually come on, that the trust is just so much higher. Like with Google and optimizing for Google search, we see conversion rates from just raw, new organic traffic somewhere between like 5 to 18%. With ChatGPT, we are seeing it's harder to measure the conversion rates because we don't see as much traffic because so much of it happens in app. But from the leads, from lead closure rates from ChatGPT are like above 80%, where lead closure rates from Google are like usually between 10 to 40%. So like you are getting double the amount of high quality leads. And so if you're an entrepreneur that's been like, oh, I'm sick of like talking with all these tire kickers who are like not in my price range, who are not looking for the right service that I provide, you need to go and invest heavily into optimizing your content for AI, optimizing your business, your brand across the internet for AI, because the quality of leads is just friggin' mind-blowing.
That's awesome. Well, Mark, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
Yeah, so you guys can go on YouTube. I'm at Money with Mark on YouTube. I also run the Lifestyle Entrepreneur podcast, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts, also on YouTube as well. And if you want to work with my agency, autogrowth.co. And if you want to join the Auto Growth Academy on School, that's SKOOL. You can go to school.com and search for the Auto Growth Academy, or just Google or ChatGPT search for the Auto Growth Academy, because I will show up there.
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show. I don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.